Coming in as lure number 1 for ultralight fishing in super clear water is going to be the micro square bill. I personally like using a bluegill pattern. If you're fishing super clear water, you always want to stay with the natural colors, and the bluegill pattern is always produced well for me. I like fishing this guy around brush piles, rocky areas, and submerged logs. If I'm fishing it around submerged logs, I'll do the bump and go method. That square bill allows it to flip over those logs, protecting those hooks from getting you snagged, which is ideal. I like fishing it on a 7-foot ultralight or 6'6" ultralight preferably. I like the longer rods. I typically use 4 to 6 pound fluorocarbon. If I'm fishing shallower water with less cover, I burn it, and I like to let it bump into the bottom. That's when you'll get a lot of your strikes. And that is lure number 1 for ultra clear water fishing. Coming in at lure number 2 is going to be a white marabou hair jig with a gold hook and an orange head. That's about one of the flashiest lures you'll see me throw in the ultra clear water we have up here in northern Minnesota. This is a springtime killer. Really dominate the jumbo perch on this, but I've caught anything from 3-pound largemouth bass to 26-inch long northern pike. Just got to be a little bit more careful on the hook set with them northern pike. But this lure is an absolute multi-species killer. The reason I like the marabou hair jig over soft plastics is you never have to reset your soft plastics, and you will get a lot of northern pike on this guy. And I like throwing it on 4-pound monofilament on my 7-foot long ultralight. And that is lure number 2 for clearwater ultralight fishing. Coming in at lure number 3 is going to be the micro chatterbait by Z-Man. I personally like using a translucent trailer when I'm fishing ultra clear water. The gold blade, in my opinion, is a better all-around blade than silver. If you're fishing in sunny and overcast days, the gold blade is going to outperform the silver blade. On those overcast days, the silver blade will just mirror that overcast color to where the gold you're still going to get some flash from. I like reeling this guy super duper slow to where you can just barely feel that blade thumping. And other times I'll do I call it the daddy method, where you jig 2 times, reel 1 time around, pause for a second. Another way I like to use it is I cast it out there, I pull the lure to me, reel in the slack, and pull the lure to me again, and you'll get a lot of your hits when it's on that pause. This guy is also nice to be able to kind of bounce off the bottom if you're fishing in a rocky area. And if you're in muddy, I'll just let this thing eat the mud and drag a big mud trail. But that has got to be number 3 for micro lures for ultra clear water. Coming in at lure number 4 is going to be the micro lipless crankbait. I like fishing this guy right along weed edges and drop-offs. The tight vibration from this bait really calls in the fish, especially if they're a little too finicky for the chatterbait. I like fishing it on 4 to 6 pound fluorocarbon, 7-foot ultralight. I like that blue chrome color. This guy is for sure top producer, a multi-species king. And if you're not throwing this spring, you're definitely missing out on some fish. And at lure number 5 is going to be the Micro TRD by Z-Man in the PB&J color with a 1/30th ounce glow-in-the-dark shroom head. This lure is an absolute killer. I like fishing this guy on 4 to 6 pound monofilament with a light action rod with a fast tip. You can't hold this bait still enough to make that tail stop wiggling. The way I fish it is, I cast it out, let it sink to the bottom, and patience is key. I'll let it sit there sometimes 30 seconds to a full minute before I just give it a slow little pop, or I'll drag it on the bottom. But if you haven't tried this Nico rig yet, you are truly missing out on some of the best fishing in your life.